from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the high-speed world of West Coast Sim Racing, where tonight we take on one of the most iconic circuits in all of motorsport, legendary Fuji Speedway. Nestled in the shadow of Mount Fuji, this track is a perfect blend of raw speed and technical precision. With its famous 1.5 kilometer front straight, one of the longest in racing, drivers will be pushing their machines to the absolute limit or diving into heavy braking zones that demand total commitment. But Fuji isn't just about straight line speed. The technical middle sector will test balance, patience, and precision. While the final corner set up that all-important run onto the straight where races can be won or lost in a heartbeat. Tonight, strategy, slipstream battles, and late-breaking heroics will define the grid. One mistake here, and it could cost everything. So buckle up. The lights are about to go out at Fuji, and West Coast Sim Racing is ready to deliver another unforgettable show. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be your host, as always. On behalf of V-Speed, tonight's presentation is brought to you by Part Hound. For all your part picking needs for your vehicle, check out parthound.com. As I mentioned, we're at the Fuji Speedway. Next up will be Portimao and then Road Atlanta on the calendar. But we finished up 3/4 of this championship so far. It's time to see who's out on top. Who's running just narrowly behind. Brendan Miles leads by just a narrow 4-point margin in front of Zach Severe, both with one win to their names. Edwin Onofre only back 6 points in the hunt for third. Josh Hunter is there in fourth, only 2 points back from Edwin, 10 points off of the overall lead. Alex Andreu, Joe Rainey, Nathaniel Redmond, Lewis Holloway, Brandon Birch, Dylan Lee round out your top 10. Connor T. Cunningham, Andreas Profino, Michael Odell, Sergio Reses, Nico Colby, Igor Rizkov, Warren Johnson, George Lawrence, Slater Colby, and Miles Guerrero round out the top 20. Here at the Fuji Speedway in the Okayama Prefecture in Japan, at the foothills of Mount Fuji, Japan's tallest mountain, at about 100 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. We've got 16 corners, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, with 131 feet of elevation change. Drivers getting ready to take to the grid, so let's get to it, shall we? Race analysis for tonight, folks. 40 length race, pit road speed of 50, and unlimited tire sets. We're going to have one competition caution come out. 100% iRacing fuel and iRacing open setups are available. As I mentioned earlier tonight, I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, your color commentator and producer, all wrapped up all into one package. Taking a look at our starting grid, it'll be Josh Hunter alongside Edwin Onofre, and then Jeremy Fletcher and Brennan Myers align the second. Third for Nico Colby and Alexei Andreu, with fourth going to Connor Cunningham and Zach Severe. Fifth for Joe Rainey and Dylan Lee. Further back, it'll be Lewis Holloway and Andreas Profina. Seventh for Warren Johnson and George Lawrence. And Boris Dragovich is going to be driving the 848 all on the eighth row by himself. And we're just waiting for the drivers to accept their fate here at the Fuji Speedway. Track that was founded in 1965. It reopened only in 2005, so just about 21 years old at this point. Hunter and Onofre line that first row, with Fletcher barreling down in the number 22 from behind. Field goes to Hunter and Onofre as the pace car pulls in. Bumper to bumper right now as we wait for the green lights. And a big look further back. That'll be Severe, who does a little sneaky peek, but doesn't really act on it. 2 by 2, we go down into the first corner. Zach Severe backs out of it, so it goes the way of Fletcher and Onofre. There goes Brennan Myers further back in fourth place right now, trying to challenge his way forward, but way further down the order. That'll be Boris Dragovich getting punted off, I believe, at Coca-Cola Corner. A little bit of an off there from Connor Cunningham as he chases down Joe Rainey as we enter 300R and get ready to enter the Dunlop corner for the first time of asking. A little bit of an off there. That'll be Zach Severe going off at Dunlop. That's going to force a side-by-side further back. The accordion effect between the 19, the 17, and the 502 coming up the hill and through nets. Dylan Lee finding the inside run on the 502. But it's just not enough. Will the slipstream help out? Not nearly as much as he thought it would, from what I can tell, but it's enough to make a glance to the inside line, and there he'll bounce off of the 502's right quarter panel and slip back in line. Checking back in up here, it's Brennan Meyer shaking his way up into P3, gets a move done on Josh Hunter, who I think's being a little bit more cautious than not in the opening stage. Drivers perhaps thinking of conserving their tires for the second half of this race. Here comes Holloway chasing down Dylan Lee. Andreas Profina in the background will go round. My goodness. Josh Hunter here in the Clementine machine, running 1.3 seconds back from the leader. Be able to get his helping hand of the, well, I guess it wouldn't be the drag reduction system. It's just the slipstream coming down the front straightaway. As they bob and weave their way, trying to shake off the slipstream from the driver behind, has to follow in pursuit of that hole in the air. Further back, Alex Andreu to the inside of Joe Rainey's attempt at Coca-Cola corner. Rainey in a heated battle right now, but we have to keep in touch with the leaders. There goes Onofre trying to chase down Fletcher. And it looks like Fletcher is going to defend a little bit from Onofre. And Onofre maximizes that exit coming out of the final corner, follows Fletcher for the slipstream. And that is a lot of slipstream. The 199 steps out, goes the long way around the outside of the JFR number 22. He gets bumped out to the outside line there. Now Fletcher goes defensive and blocks off the 199's attack. Returning to the racing line for the entrance to Coca-Cola corner. All this does is slow them down to the attacks of Brennan Myers from behind. Brennan Myers now in an uncomfortable position as he tries to find real estate to live in, as he has the pushing Josh Hunter behind, and he's got Edwin Onofre ahead that he can't get by. Big jumps over the curb there, coming through Dunlop corner. All in pursuit of chasing down Fletcher for P1. The 1-2-3 combo is going to be Fletcher, Onofre, and Myers right now. For how long will Onofre sit back and wait for his opportunity as the 22 continues to drive extremely defensively? '23 of Myers tries to find a way to the inside quarter panel of Edwin Onofre, and he's able to do so. And now Onofre is going to have to slip back into third, and Colby finds P4, and Josh Hunter finds fifth in that exchange. The Tech Sport driver 199 trying to do whatever he can to hold on, but he knows that this isn't over, not by a long shot. We still have 37 minutes of race running left to go and a competition caution that can really mean anything. Now Myers has an attempt to chase down Fletcher. We fan out nearly 3 wide. It'll be Fletcher, Myers, and Onofre. And then there goes the 16 of Nico Colby trying to find a door alongside to challenge Fletcher for the lead of the race. If anybody can do it, it'll be Nico to pull it out. Little touches there from the 16 to the 23. Fletcher chases down, Myers chases down Fletcher. Colby losing ground a little bit. Was the faster of pretty much anybody. 135.0 that last time by. Here's Dylan Lee and Alexei Andreu. And it looks like there will be an incident there for Dylan Lee. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened here. Here's Dylan Lee behind Alexei. And was this a solo spin? Looks like he goes to the inside on Alexei, and he just bounces that front end over the curbs, and then it just becomes unsettled. Fletcher falls back all the way almost to P3, as it looked like Nico Colby was going to thwart any attempt for redemption there from Onofre. But Onofre is going to be able to challenge, and it's a gaggle of Porsches humming along as fast as they can. Over the curb goes the 22. That really unsettles him. Fletcher tries to use all the track width on exit to capitalize on a run to the number 23 up ahead. But it seemingly won't be enough to catch up to Brennan Myers, who's gotten a 4/10 gap right now to Fletcher. Fletcher currently has his rear view mirror full of Nico Colby, and that's enough to keep any man distracted on a good day. Josh Hunter, Zach Severe. There goes Hunter on the 714. Up the inside run, and the 714 has nowhere to go but fall in line. And again, drivers using as much of that curb on entry as possible to capitalize their entry speeds. There goes Onufree on the 16, but a touch into the number 81 of Josh Hunter from the 16. Almost sends him round, but he recovers with only losing one position to Zach Severe. Zach Severe getting a little body block there from the number 16. I think it's a little too late. The 16 goes for his planned switchback and gets that one pulled out of a magician's hat. Very nice. 714 now under attack from that Clementine of Josh Hunter, and Hunter snakes his way through at Coca-Cola Corner. There goes Severe off, and that'll compromise his run, but same thing for the Clementine. And Fletcher's all the way back into P5 now. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened to Fletcher to drop back into P5. And nothing seems to be the cause. He just slips back to P5. Fletcher slips in between Josh Hunter and Zach Severe, though. Hunter goes back into 6th. Lewis Holloway. Haven't spoken about him much this season. The Camber and Caster number 93 chases down Joe Rainey up ahead, the number 17. And has Andreas Profina to keep him company at night. Up ahead, the battle for the lead has dropped to around half a second, and that gap continues to drop. The 199 trying to capitalize on that slipstream, and it sure does give him a lot of help. Nearly brought 2-3 tenths down on Brennan Myers. And that's only going to increase as he gets closer. Myers with a little tap of the brakes. And this middle section here is so tricky. .199 of Edwin Onofre is doing a great job right now. Let's go on board with Onofre and see how much he capitalized the exit here coming out of Panasonic corner. Just to use that slipstream. Gets a great exit on Brennan Myers now. Tucks back in behind the team red line driver. And actually, Edwin decides to help out Brennan Myers rather than battle it out. A little push to the rear end, and now Onofre steps out of line. Stays single file though, as he doesn't look primed to want to attack the number 23. Myers, Onofre, bobbing, weaving, poking, and peeking for any line on Brennan Myers. There it is, the opportune moment. Waited for a mistake from Brennan Myers. Onofre finds the inside line. Coming up the hill through nets. It will be going the way of Myers, though, as Onofre could not keep it underneath him. Onofre using the slipstream to slingshot his way around the outside at Daichi. Andreas Profina tumbling down the order, slips in behind Joe Rainey. Keeping our eye on this battle for just a second while we take a peek at Josh Hunter's battle with Jeremy Fletcher. And Hunter keeps trying to find an alternate line on Fletcher's defense. And it might be here coming out of Panasonic and down the front stretch. Long 1.5 kilometer or 0.93 mile long straightaway. But it's to no avail because we get the competition caution called. And you know what that means, folks. We'll have to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
trade for bananas?
Bananas? No thanks. Are you tired of lowball offers and no shows? Here at VehicleBuyers.com, we make it fast and easy to sell your vehicle. Enter your vehicle information into our website and receive an offer for your vehicle. Our competitive offers ensure that you get the best deal possible. If you're ready to sell your vehicle, click the link below.
VehicleBuyers.com. Visit us today. Having trouble outfoxing the deals and the competition getting you all flustered? Time to be sly and visit OverstockVehicles.com. We have over 600 vehicles available for sale monthly, all at dealer pricing. OverstockVehicles.com. Visit us today.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish! Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
He knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
And we are back, folks. It looks like Zach Severe comes in for a pit stop. Seems a little peculiar. Brennan Myers and Edwin Onofre line the first row. Nico Colby and Josh Hunter line the second. Jeremy Fletcher and Alexei Andreu further back in third. And Connor T. Cunningham, Lewis Holloway, Dylan Lee, Boris Dragovich, Andreas Profina, Joe Rainey, Zach Severe, George Lawrence. On board with Brennan Myers, who's going to have the inside line going into turn one. As we get ready to take to the last 19 minutes or so of this race, I want to know who you think is going to come out on top. Will it be Onofre, Myers, Colby, Cunningham? Could go any which way tonight. Anything can happen in motor racing, and it usually does. Here we go. The pace car pulls in. And we are ready to take the green flag again here for West Coast Sim Racing. "17 minutes left on the clock. A little bumping and banging as we get ready to go. Green, green, green. And we take the green flag by Barney on this race restart. Edwin Onofre is going to go the long way around the outside. Fletcher from a long way back runs into the back of Edwin into the number 199. Little bobbing and weaving there from Brennan Myers as he warms the tires up to temperature. Nearly 3 wide coming through 100R. Further back, it'll be Lewis Holloway challenging the 502 of Cunningham, but it looks like Lewis Holloway is going to spin out the number 93 and over to the forwarding battles. Now it'll leave the 502 compromised to the attacks of Joe Rainey. For those of you wondering how it's holding up for Zach Severe, well, the 714 right now is holding on to 8th position after the pit stop. Make that 7th position after the pit stop as there's a spin from the 502 coming up the hill. On board with Zach Severe, the 714, and he gets so much slipstream from the car in front. Up ahead, looking at the 22 of Fletcher, bobs and weaves every which way, tries to get through on Edwin Onofre. Onofre defends by holding a steady line there. And now trying to use traffic to his advantage. 22 in the 16 pass on the outside of the 199. .22 of Fletcher back up into P2. 14:40 left on the clock. A little bouncing and banging over the curbs. That's no harm, no foul for these Porsche Cups. Zach Severe now has Alexei Andreu in front of him. The number 19 car. Up ahead, here's Nico Colby in the hunt for P2 or better, and they fan out. A 16 tries to cut through on the 22, but it's not going to work out. The 22 goes a little wide there. I think Edwin might try to challenge the 16 of Colby. Oh, man, that was a big checkup into the curb. Sent him airborne. Well, he's able to catch it. Falls back in behind Josh Hunter. so many tight battles here on the racetrack. This is the battle from Fletcher in P2 all the way back to P7 in this train. Zach Severe sitting a little far back from Alexei right now. I don't think he'll be able to challenge going in towards turn one. Hunter nearly goes into the back of Colby. The battle for the podium rages on with 12 minutes left to go. Still anybody's ball game, but Fletcher keeps using track limits like they're not gonna eventually catch up to him. They most surely will. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fletcher is sitting on the cusp of a drive-through penalty by the end of this race. Whoa, big error from Fletcher. That might force the 16 to walk on by. It will be through for the 16, but can the 81 get through also here at Nets? I don't think it is going to sound like a swish. And just like that, Fletcher snaps back on the 16. A young Nico Colby narrowly ahead of Jeremy Fletcher. The 199 stepped out of the slipstream. Fletcher went late on the brakes in defense there. Onofre stuck in the middle, goes for a switchback on the duo and slots back in front of the 16. Or does he, as the battle still continues side by side? Fletcher still does what Fletcher does best. That's bunching up the field and slowing down the groups into these battle packs. '22 of Fletcher leads Onofre, then Josh Hunter in the Clementine, and then we have Nico Colby in the number 16. Looking back from Fletcher's point of view, riding on his gearbox. Just under 10 minutes remaining on the clock. The leader's putting in 1:35s. There goes Onofre. Got to pinch the 22 or not. And he chooses to not pinch the 22 to the inside line, not at least until we get to the apex. And Fletcher's going to run out Onofre. The five-way battle for P2 is here as Brennan Myers is up the road by around 4 seconds almost, and really doesn't even have to check his rear view mirror. Competition caution has already been called and done with. That leaves it with a green and clean stretch to the end. Comes Josh Hunter around the outside. Goes to the apex, but meets Fletcher there. Brendan Myers leads by a near country mile at this point, with a 4.1 second gap to Jeremy Fletcher. Fletcher under threat from the 81 of Josh Hunter. Hunter doesn't know what Fletcher has up his sleeves just yet. Oh no. And Fletcher's back. Okay. Bit of a scary moment there. I think everybody is holding their breath now as Fletcher blinks in and out of existence. And I believe this means that we'll just get 4 more laps by the looks of it. So 4 more of these long, nearly 1 mile runs down in towards the first corner. Yeah, I love the way these drivers are navigating through the faster parts of the track. Down into 100R, they all fan out to get a little bit of clean air over their Porsches. And these are the best gopher cams in the business. Fletcher continues to defend. The 81 can't drive through him at the apex, especially when you're focused on exit speeds like Fletcher is. It makes it very difficult for guys like Hunter to try to get by. Edwin forces the issue nearly 3 wide now. Fletcher there on the inside line, Onofre on the outside, and Hunter squeezed in the middle right now. Goes for the switchback himself. Fletcher with a little bit of a wiggle on exit. Onofre to the inside quarter panel of Fletcher is gonna get there at the apex before anybody else. I think he has the opportunity and the run now. No, he does not through 100R as he now battles with Hunter. Edwin Onofre getting his elbows out with Jeremy Fletcher now. trying to find a way to be aggressive and tactful. Loses out one position. Alexa goes to the inside line, and that'll spin him around. Alexa went for a move from a long way back, trying to go for the double trouble there. And I don't think that was going to work out for him. Looking back here, it'll be Zach Severe chasing down Nico Colby for 5th position. Onofre and Josh Hunter going to come through turn 1, single file line on exit. Whoa, Onofre with a late move on the 22 of Fletcher. Moves himself up into P2 with 1:55 remaining on the clock. This is going to be the last lap showdown. Is this really where you want to be in these battle packs? In the lead going into the final couple of corners on the final lap. Onofre will let us know here in just a few minutes when we get to our podium interviews. Fletcher went to the inside at Panasonic, but I think it was to no avail as Josh Hunter was able to get the overspeed on exit. White flag in the air. Onofre defends the number 22. Gets pushed from behind off the racing line. And I think that's gonna be it for Onofre. Holy Toledo. JFR comes across the racetrack. Cuts the inside completely off of Onofre. Late on the brakes for the 199. Cuts back through on the number 22. Up ahead, about 8.5 seconds from this battle, will be Brennan Myers getting ready to take the checkered flag. Keeping our eyes glued back here for just another moment. There goes Onofre, and he gets run around by the 22 into Panasonic. That's going to be Brennan Myers taking the checkered flag and P1. Josh Hunter in P2. Jeremy Fletcher rolls into pit lane, so that'll go the way of Zach Severe. And then it'll go Nico Colby, Alexei Andreu, and then Onofre, Dylan Lee, Joe Rainey, George Lawrence, Connor T. Cunningham, Lewis Holloway, and Boris Dragovich. Here are the unofficial results. Myers, Hunter, Severe, Colby, Andreu, Onofre, Lee, Rainey, Lawrence, Cunningham. Holloway, Fletcher, Dragovic, Profina, and then Johnson, as Fletcher did have a black flag at the end of the race. And let's see if we can get our drivers pulled in for their interviews in just a few seconds. Looks like everybody is rearing and ready to go here in just a few moments. Let's talk to our race winner first. It was pretty flawless this time running. Brennan Myers coming home with a victory. How does it feel to come out on top and avoid the chaos and trouble behind?
To work my way from the back this time, but either way, same result, I'll take it.
Absolutely. It must have felt a little bit more calm, cool, and collected this time out for you to have a result where you didn't really feel pressured at any point during the second half of the race, were you?
Not too much, just wanted to get through the safety car restart, and after that I was able to pull a little gap and keep pushing. So once I saw that my gap got pretty big, I was able to kind of relax and just kind of get in the flow state.
That was pretty good state of flow there, Brennan Myers. You led by a pretty healthy margin at the end of the day. Congratulations on the win. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
You for putting on the broadcast and Warren for putting on our league as well. Got to shout out the grandparents for watching the sessions as well on YouTube. They love watching the live streams over there. And probably my cat as well. Got my cat right here, once again, right next to me.
Right on. Shout out to Grandma and Grandpa Myers there, and shout out to Kitty Myers. Thank you, Mr. Myers. Have a great night, and as always, stay safe, my brother.
Appreciate you. You too.
Up next, we're going to talk to Josh Hunter. The number 81 started in first, didn't lead us for a single lap. That coveted first position never got attached to your name, but you had a pretty good battle for the majority of the race. Why don't you talk to us about how you feel, Josh?
That was probably the most fun I've ever had in this car. That was a fun battle back and forth, especially in the second half. And I was just surprised we survived going 2 or 3 wide in a few of those turns.
Absolutely. I think it just goes to show that you guys are getting a lot more comfortable with these cars and the limited aids that they do have, or the aids that they do have, and their limitations, more or less. We know that the ABS is a little bit tricky. You don't want to exactly engage it right. So I feel like you guys are just getting faster and faster as a group. Do you feel similarly, Josh?
I'm starting to warm up to the car. Just still don't really trust the rear end coming out of tight corners. It's pretty easy to spin, especially on cold tires.
The car definitely still has some quirks to be learned, that's for sure. But it's going to be P2 for you, Josh Hunter, and it's looking good for you in the championship. You could have everybody and a run for their money going into the final 2 rounds. Anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the podium tonight?
You for the broadcast, and Warren for the league, and also Jeremy for, doing what he does and slowing everyone else down so I can sneak by. That was cool.
Right on. Thank you very much, Josh Hunter. Have a great night, brother.
Thank you, too.
And last but not least, it'll be Zach Severe, who came from a long way back, even pit for tires during the competition caution. Zach, talk to us about your strategy and what it took to come back out in third.
Yeah, I was pretty slow this whole race. So, I mean, I got to the end of practice and I was like, I'm a good like 5/10 off the pace. And so, yeah, knowing how slow I was like, okay, let's try to beat them on strategy. So I decided I'd like load up half fuel and I'd take fuel halfway through and do tires just to have a lighter car. And to be honest, the lighter car didn't really help me in the first half. I wasn't that quick. I couldn't really battle with the guys ahead. Um, but taking tires really did help. I should have taken all 4 really, but still taking 2 tires, the 2 left sides, which are loaded up a lot throughout the lap, that was big. So I loaded up on fuel, loaded up on tires, and then just tried to be patient for the second half because people kept crashing in front of me. And by the end, I wasn't sure how good I was going to do, but right at the end, I just snuck by a couple of spins and managed a podium. So I think overall, just strategy and patience paid off over pace for me.
Absolutely. Those are, sounds like some very good keys to the race and a well executed strategy. Zach, anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on your podium tonight?
I'd love to shout you and Warren out for making this happen and all the drivers who come out. Glad to see a bit more participation in these last two. It's a good time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Zach. Really appreciate you. Have a great night, brother.
You too.
And last but not least, as I said that last time, we have Warren Johnson in the broadcast booth to give us a couple of league announcements and let us know how his race went. Warren, what's going on, sir?
Wheel took a shit, so I exited.
You sound like a robot right now. Is your microphone okay?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, but you still sound like a robot. Is that me? Checking. No, it's
Still a robot?
No,
Still a robot?
Perfect. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry, that was me. Sorry to ruin that one.
All
No, my wheel took a shit, so none of my buttons are working except for my shifts. I could have raced, but I wanted to be able to announce and stuff, but I couldn't like adjust my FOV with my VR either, so something bad was gonna happen. I just drove 400 miles today anyways. I didn't really feel like racing.
Yeah,
But
man, what a mission.
no, yeah, it's all right. But no, it looked like a good race up at the front. That was pretty crazy. Congrats to Brennan. He finally pulled one together. I know he's gotten like spun a couple times out of the lead or something. It was nice to see him get that win. Yeah, that battle for the championship is heating up. So I think there's 10 points separating with the top 4. So that is a hell of a standings.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
It's very tight, and more people keep on showing up to these races, and it keeps on spicing things up every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jeremy joined today. Didn't expect that, but hell yeah! Thanks for racing with us. And to all the members, thanks for racing with us week in and week out. Those are the guys you really need to thank. They're the ones that make it possible. Yeah, we got 2 more races, man. We're winding down. Last 3 races right here. What do we got? We got Portimao next week. That's a cool track. And then Road Atlanta. That's going to be extremely difficult in these cars, but that's going to, that might be some crazy championship battling there. That's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah,
Hope you
that'll
got your
definitely
voice
be a
ready for that
great
one.
season finale.
Yeah, and then GRs, we got Sachsenring on Monday, which is an interesting and really fun track that you don't see too often. And Charlotte Roval for the season finale. That's going to be a fun one also. I hate that track, but it'll be a fun one for those who do like it. But other than that, man, hey, thanks to all the viewers. Again, thanks to all the members that join in week in, week out, and all our sponsors. And I guess I'll see you on Monday, Sagar.
I will see you on Monday. Warren, thank you so much for having me, sir. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. See you then.
Want to jump on the coattails of what Warren said and what the driver said too, is extend a little bit of gratitude to all the participants tonight. You guys truly make this happen week in, week out. Without your participation, there would be no league to commentate. There would no league to steward. It just means no work for the rest of us. So thank you guys for your participation. Thank you guys for showing love to West Coast Sim Racing. If you want to get involved, make sure you check out West Coast Sim Racing on Discord and check us out on the iRacing leagues. Thank you very much for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. I've been your host, Sagar Bakshi, on the production and comms for you tonight. On behalf of V-Speed, have a great night, everybody. And as always, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.